Now, two people have been shot by Customs and Border Patrol in Portland, Oregon. The latest details we're getting into the newsroom. Protesters hit the streets of Minneapolis after an ICE agent fatally shoots a driver, what Homeland Security is saying about the officer, and Revive I-5 is back. We're just a day away from the start of months of lane closures on Seattle Ship Canal Bridge, what drivers need to know. Breaking news out of Portland today. ABC News is reporting that U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents shot two people. We know it happened near East Burnside and 141st Avenue in Portland. The FBI will lead the investigation. We don't know the condition of the people shot, but the Portland City Council president says the two people survived the shooting. The circumstances of the shooting have not been revealed. In fact, we're waiting for a press conference to begin for more information. As soon as it starts, we'll bring it to you live on the air during this newscast. Developing now at 4, protests continue in Minneapolis after the deadly shooting of a woman by an ICE officer. Today, Minnesota state investigators said they would not be involved in this investigation, and late this afternoon, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz authorized the state's National Guard be staged and ready to support law enforcement. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the ICE officer, now identified as Jonathan Ross, followed his training and was protecting himself. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins has the latest from Washington, D.C.
A political tinderbox igniting in Minnesota after an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman Wednesday.
A group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws.
Both parties using the moment to megaphone their political priorities, sparking deep polarization.
People in positions of power have already passed judgment, from the president to the vice president to Kristi Noem, have stood and told you things that are verifiably false, verifiably inaccurate.
Democrats painting the tragedy as an example of the dangers of the federal crackdown on immigration enforcement.
To ICE, get out of Minneapolis.
The White House staunchly defending the ICE agents and the necessity of having a nation with laws.
Radicals in the Democrat Party are furious over this. They don't want our border secured or criminal illegal aliens being removed.
Tensions surrounding the increased presence of federal agents in Minneapolis have simmered for weeks.
We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it.
Republicans argue this type of rhetoric created the atmosphere that led to the death of the woman in Minneapolis.
It's a tragedy of the making of the far left. They have radicalized a very small segment of the population, taught them that ICE agents are engaging in wide-scale violation of people's rights.
Some Democrats on Capitol Hill are calling to defund ICE, echoing the unpopular calls to defund the police after the murder of George Floyd in 2020, which coincidentally took place less than a mile away from Wednesday's shooting. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is demanding state officials be allowed to take part in the investigation. State investigators withdrew from the case after the FBI told them they would not have access to evidence. Walz is calling on the U.S. Attorney's Office to change its stance.
We have learned that the Trump administration has now denied the state that ability to participate in the investigation. And I just want to make this as clear as possible to everyone. Minnesota must be part of this investigation.
Minnesota's Public Safety Commissioner said if the BCA cannot conduct a full investigation, the state cannot file charges. The White House says Homeland Security will continue to operate on the ground in Minneapolis. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that the ICE officer involved followed his training.
We recognize that he acted according to his training. He acted appropriately to protect his life and the life of his colleagues and fellow law enforcement officers that were there and people that were surrounding.
Officials say the officer is a member of ICE's Special Response Team and has 10 years of experience. Noem says she's not opposed to sending more immigration authorities to Minneapolis. In downtown Seattle last night, dozens of protesters gathered in front of the federal building to demonstrate their frustration with ICE following the deadly shooting. The protest was peaceful and no arrests were made. Stay with KOMO for the latest developments in the story. We'll have the newest information for you on the air and online at KOMOnews.com.
A
Some community members are not only protesting, they're also looking out for their neighbors. Our Jason Rantel is live in Minneapolis with a look at how they're stepping up. Jason?
Frank, there's a protest planned right here at Lake in Chicago. That's in just over an hour from now. But on Saturday, there's also a protest planned by MIRAC, the Minnesota Immigrants' Rights Action Committee. That's at Powderhorn Park. They had a message today for ICE to get out of our cities. They held a press conference today outlining their plans for that protest, as well as saying their efforts won't stop until ICE leaves. They say the Trump administration doesn't want the public to believe what's clearly recorded on video. We heard from Council Member Jason Chavez. He spoke about the work being done by community members. They're patrolling neighborhoods, spreading the word about spotted immigration enforcement. They're also driving people to and from work and not sleeping for hours just to make sure their loved ones stay together.
We need that ICE agent and those ICE agents that were complicit in that act to be immediately arrested.
That's right.
We need these ICE agents immediately fired.
That's right.
And they need to be held accountable for their atrocities. And we will take nothing less than that.
And MIRAC wouldn't say a whole lot about that event, the protest on Saturday, other than it begins at 1 at Powderhorn Park. Again, this protest here on Lake Street begins in just over an hour, Frank.
Okay, we'll, of course, update that as well. Jason, thanks. Hundreds of people packed the street where an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good yesterday morning. Connor White is there right now. Connor, what's the scene? I know there were hundreds, if not thousands, last night.
Frank, a lot of those people either chose to stay overnight or they returned at some point during the day today. Those barriers that we saw starting to go up last night have only gotten stronger with a lot of makeshift materials. We've seen pine trees, planks of wood, wood pallets, couches. That's a vehicle as well. There are several barriers all around here completely preventing vehicle traffic from coming through as people continue to mourn and express their anger here. Wednesday morning, a bystander films as an ICE agent shoots and kills Renee Good in her vehicle. More than 24 hours later, the street is still filled with mourners. A vigil grows as people strengthen barricades blocking off traffic between 33rd and 34th Streets on Portland Avenue. Melody Cordes Eklund lives in the neighborhood.
I think that this has been a very safe response, especially considering the gravity of what happened.
As hundreds passed through to protest and observe, these folks remained overnight in a makeshift tent.
Yeah, we could be sleeping in a cozy bed, but you know who's not sleeping in a cozy bed? Renee. Renee Good.
Now, some of the protesters here say that they have spoken to people along this block to acknowledge that this could be inconvenient for people who live here, but they say it's important that they remain and continue to honor Renee Good. Beyond these barriers, we're also beginning to see some other equipment being set up that we'll show you a little later on at 5 o'clock that indicates that people are here for the long haul, Frank. Now, Minneapolis police and other law enforcement, we haven't seen them show up today, but the city is certainly aware of this as we did see a city DPW crew come by to check out the ice on the sidewalks.
Okay, we'll check with you later, Connor. Thanks.
When Kristi Noem was judge, jury, and basically executioner yesterday, that's very, very difficult to think that they were going to be fair.
All right, let's get off the sidelines, head into the arena. My panel will be here, but we want to start with our reporters on the scene. CNN's Laura Coates is live covering the demonstrations in Minneapolis. We also have CNN senior White House correspondent Kristen Holmes. But let's start in Minneapolis. Laura, you're outside the federal building there. What have you been seeing today?
Let me tell you what's going on right now. You're hearing whistles. You're seeing a caravan of cars coming in. They are Border Patrol agents inside. It has agitated this crowd. They are already very angry. You are hearing people continuously with signs, etc. They are angry. They have milk with them. They have on gas. They have tear gas. People have different megaphones out right now. You see there's a whole group of agents who are over behind this very small barricade over here. There was one who was actually speaking to somebody off camera, an ICE agent inside of a car, where they were asking the person, why are you doing this? Do you really think that people should be deported in the way that you're doing so? The agent, not wanting to be on camera, not wanting to lower his mask, expressed his concern and saying that, look, it's the law. It was almost as if he was trying to suggest that what do you want me to do? I have to follow the law. But look at the crowd here that's out right now. People are angry. They want the evidence. They're distrustful of an investigation not being independent. You have different people who are out right now who are actually speaking directly to and yelling at the ICE agents, challenging their manhood, their patriotism, and the like. They are reacting to what took place yesterday, as well as these two narratives that are happening right now. And here we go. We've got people who are yelling right now as if their agents otherwise are coming out of their cars, and people who are going inside. And they are also reacting. This is Laura Ingraham, who's actually here. They're reacting right now to Fox News' Laura Ingraham going into a car. Her presence also agitating. They're blocking her path right here with cameras in her face as they're going by. Everyone wondering what the narratives will be and what the impact has been. This man carrying milk right now in his hand, obviously milk to try to counteract the effects of tear gas that has already been thrown out, and pepper spray as well. You can see on the ground different remnants of balls that have been dropped containing that very thing. The tension here is palpable. People are upset. They are compelled to come down here. They do not trust that there will be an independent investigation. And you can see everyone who's coming, even shift changes that are happening right now. If a car passes by and does not honk, they are assumed to be problematic. They're looking at agents who have their masks still on their bodies. You see them, and they are challenged right now. They have little fingers up to them, whistles going, and they're trying to go through the air. Let me get the path. They have the path that we're coming in. Here we go. They're putting signs on their cars right now. Here we go. Get out of the way. Oh, they're coming. We've got them coming right now. The ICE agents coming down, guns drawn right now. Some sort of agents trying to counteract right now, trying to get their colleagues into it right now as they're spraying something into the air right now. People are concerned. I'm going in closer right now. Excuse me. Sorry, ma'am. Here we go. You're seeing a shift change right now, Casey, happening as they are coming closer and closer. They're coming in the air right now. That's making you cough a little bit. They're coming right closer. Since I have been here, they have not gotten this close. You can see them. They're all masked. They are angry. They're asking for milk right now. They're coming in closer, and they're going back. There's something in the air right now they have going on right now. And you see behind me what's going on. I'm going to say the same distance right now. But Casey, it is coming right now. There's tension. A lot of tension. We've got people around right now. About 40 or so ICE agents that are out here in the area. There's something that is in the air causing me to cough a little bit. They are retreating right now as the crowd is coming closer and closer. They are retreating back in one single line, holding the line as they're walking right now. You have people who are close and they're continuing to yell. People are covering their mouths. There's something happening right now. Casey, it's intense. It is intense. Inky Ma'am, it's so intense right now. It's happening. They're backing up now, back behind the distance as the crowds are there. You have an elevated presence right now, but remember, we've seen people come up. They're shooting some kind of pellets. The gas has come down right now. We're going to back up a little bit more. It's in the air, Casey. We're going to get to a safe location, okay?
We're sticking with you as long as you're feeling safe, and you just let us know if you need to move to a safe location right now.
Let's go.
We will absolutely roll with that. Okay.
Someone is
Keep breathing us in.
It's hard to breathe. Something is down. Someone's on the ground right now. She's taken to her knees, saying "Coward ICE." They have put something in the ground right now, some sort of a pellet of some type. They're facing the crowd. They're now in a constant line happening right now. Constant line going right now. About 40 or so people right now. They're also filming the crowd. They are filming the crowd. There's been a tear gas. People are coughing. And it's in the air. Let me tell you what it feels like. It feels a little like you're choking in your chest, and it feels like you're trying to catch your breath. It inflames your nostrils. It's a burning sensation in your chest. It's a burning sensation in your actual nostrils as well. I'm not going to go further right now, but it does makes you cough. People right now are changing shifts, it appears, and behind them, but they are continuing to be there right now. Some people actually have masks on that have the American flag. People are agitated. They are angry, and now they have been tear gassed yet again in the course of this. People comparing it to chanting happening right now. There are different people happening. This person is challenging, as you can see, almost looking and imploring them to speak to them as well. You still feel the remnants of what is this gas that has been deployed in the air right now. People are making sure no one goes past what seems to be an invisible line right now on the ground. Earlier today, one of the first gassing incidents that happened was people were pushing on that little parking arm that you see right there, and that almost taunting the agents as well. And now they're actually going in and out of cars. People are coming behind, and you see in the distance different agents coming from different vehicles as well. Remember, we watched people try to come into the area in a caravan, and their cars are instantly identified, and they are instantly criticized and yelled at and berated by the crowd, who is obviously angry. Somebody has on a gas mask of sorts as well, and somebody is walking around asking who might need milk for their eyes to clear them as well. They are, they've been standing here for quite some time. There's somebody in the front, if you can zoom into the camera in the front, who's actually holding the device that seems to be deploying this gas and what's not. They're in the very front of it. Others have their hands in their pockets. They all seem to have some sort of armor on their body. You hear shame, 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 constantly repeated here with the crowd of people. So many people who are in the crowd right now who are angry, who said they're coming. Look right here, people on their backpacks are bringing gas masks with them in the area. We have people who are having over there as well different.
News out of Portland. 2 people are hurt after a shooting involving federal immigration officers. Details are still coming in, but the FBI's Portland office says it's investigating a shooting involving Customs and Border Patrol agents. The circumstances of what led to that shooting are still not known, but we do have some video from the scene. Portland police say just after 2 p.m., a man called 911 to report he and his wife had been shot. They were taken to the hospital. We don't know the extent of their injuries at this point, but this follows yesterday's deadly shooting by ICE agents in Minneapolis that has drawn protests nationwide, including some here in the Bay Area. Breaking news out of
Portland. 2 people have been hospitalized after a shooting involving federal agents, and that's according to the city of Portland. Senator Ron Wyden just posted online in part, quote, "Trump's deployment of federal agents in my hometown is clearly inflaming violence and must end." But we do want to be clear with our audience about what we know, and MS Now has not confirmed what federal agents were involved in this shooting, but we are actively monitoring what is happening in Portland.
Officials are saying that 2 people were shot by U.S. federal agents tonight. Sarah is watching this story for us.
Yes, we have a couple of sources on this. One being Portland FBI, who had, it appears, initially put out a statement on X, on what used to be called Twitter, offering some details to it. I will note that it does appear that post has since been taken down, but from that post, I'll just say that it does describe federal agents being involved in this shooting that had occurred in the 10,000 block of Main Street in Portland, involving Customs and Border Protection or patrol agents. They're calling this an agent-involved shooting. That's how they describe it. 2 individuals wounded. Conditions at this point unknown. Circumstances also a question right now. The 2 are reportedly in hospital, and the FBI is leading the investigation. We do also know from Portland Police, who put out a statement saying that they had responded to a call for help related to a shooting, that they arrived, applied a tourniquet, that the 2 individuals were taken to hospital. Police were not involved in this shooting, but in that press release as well, it does describe federal agents being involved. Given what we have been talking about so much, Ian, what has happened out of Minneapolis involving ICE agents, I wanted to get some clarity on the differences between these 2 federal agents, these 2 branches, both within the Department of Homeland Security in the United States. But ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. CBP, Customs and Border Protection. These are 2 different divisions within the Department of Homeland Security. One, ICE, focuses on interior enforcement within the United States, but Customs and Border Protection, as you might think, is focused, or supposed to be focused on ports of entry.
Working class people. There's a lot of immigrants. I think everyone around here knows that. but they keep to themselves. I am beyond angry that this is happening the day after they killed that woman. I mean, this has gone too far. This is beyond voting. We need to do something. Like, the people need to do something. This is ridiculous.
Where news comes first. You're watching WECT News.
January marks Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
It's one of the fastest growing crimes in the country and one of the most pressing issues here in North Carolina. And WECT's J.C. Caldwell talked with leaders of nonprofit groups who actually help the victims. And J.C., they say it's a problem right here in Wilmington, too.
Yeah, that's right, John. Officials with 514 Revolution say Wilmington has always been a hotspot for human trafficking, but they're seeing a rising number of calls and are warning what to watch out for.
We've given you the stories. Arrest after arrest on human trafficking charges made right here in southeastern North Carolina. But you still may not realize the problem is only getting worse.
Human trafficking is one of the biggest money makers in the world. You can sell drugs one time, you can sell a person as many times a day as you can.
Hardin Reeves is the assistant director at 514 Revolution.
Have you done that?
It's a local nonprofit fighting against human trafficking and helping victims with resources like housing, money, even legal support.
Trafficking is defined by force, fraud, or coercion. If you have exchanged any sort of sexual favors or any sort of favors for something of value to you, that could be drugs, that could be a place to stay. Human trafficking happens everywhere.
We're not immune. North Carolina consistently ranks among the top 10 U.S. states for reported human trafficking cases.
We had received 565 calls on our hotline. That's the most it's ever been.
Believe it or not, Wilmington is sadly breaking records of its own, hitting 126 calls in 2025. But why here?
Because of the port and because we're a vacation town.
It's also close to major interstates. It's not exactly what you may think, though.
People think it's a lot of, they get kidnapped in the middle of the night and thrown into a shipping container, and I mean, that could happen, but we find that there isn't really one pathway.
It could start by getting in the wrong relationship or getting involved in the wrong job with no way out. And there are signs to look out for.
If you see a woman or an individual who is kind of constantly being watched, if they have certain markings, if they look, if they can't make direct eye contact, people will often not have control of their ID. They won't have a phone.
If you do see something, officials plead, say something.
We have had several instances where people were walking through the mall and they saw something that didn't seem quite right. So they would call. 9 times out of 10, it's something.
When it is, we'll continue to bring you the story.
It's the new kind of pandemic.
If you are a victim or know someone who might be, contact 514 Revolution for help. We have their contact information on our website. J.C. Caldwell, WECT News.